if you're an average American driver, and Americans, the onus is on us to be better consumers, to drive electric cars. Americans drive more than any other country on earth. So just keep that in mind when you think of the average American driver driving 100 years would equate to one single flight mission of one B-52 bomber. There are 80 of these planes just flying around in circles day in and day out on these pointless missions just to maintain mission readiness. That's just one vehicle. Then when you look at the Navy, I mean, they use bunker fuel, which is 1,000 times dirtier than diesel fuel. And the DoD doesn't even have to really report anything that's outside of US territorial borders. So when you look at the Navy's use of bunker fuel, and then when you extrapolate that out to the 1,000 overseas bases, the DoD does not have to report any of their fuel use. So there's a huge plausible deniability on what exactly is being used and all of the emissions for that fuel use. So when we say the 140 countries thing, that's just what the Pentagon accounts for. That's just what they're documenting. They don't document any of this other stuff. So academics and outside researchers have had to try to quantify this and calculate it on their behalf. But it gets so much bigger than that, even just with carbon emissions. I mean, we're talking about the effects of war, right? Blowing up giant infrastructure and then rebuilding that infrastructure, the carbon captured in massive buildings. I mean, metropolises like Raqqa. I mean, just look at Gaza today, right? The complete decimation of any green space. Once the US military actually engages in active combat and also just training, these places are rendered uninhabitable for, I mean, for millennia, potentially.